That's smart. Boom. Come on. Come on.
I'm not as fast as you and Alice, aren't I?
If a person throws a punch at me, if you're playing a sparring technique, anytime a person brings hands, you're not just going to bring it up just to play, to block or defense. You're going to play, and you're going to play punch, and everything you do, you have to learn to create counter-striking techniques. This guy got you with a headlock, okay? You're like this. Kick to the face along here. Finger go here. I want to push into the center. I want to squeeze my palm towards the cheek. Squeeze the fingers towards the palm. And he's going to come quick. Now, I'm gonna, no, that's going backwards. This is up and forward. This is backwards. That's bad. So if I do this and I do this, that's bad on me. Push into me. You see, you can't. I want to turn to point, not turn away from point. That's it, see? And you don't have to worry about it.
Now I know.
It's your wrist control that you have to have. When we push hands. More than that, it says it's your shoulder swing. Attack me. Everything's small. See, everything's small. If you're like this, that's too big. It's overextension. You understand?
Yeah.
You want to keep everything tight and framed. So it's boom, small, tap, boom. So everything is small. Everything here is small. So you can just small. Oh, sorry. But you see, boom, 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 boom.
Perhaps I'm over here, right? She punches me, punch, and I want to hit her down here. See?
Okay.
Oh, did I? Look, now here's the reality. The reality is.
Didn't work too well.
Did you hit me?
I think you did. You're hitting me.
How did you attack me?
But it wasn't a good hit, so it really didn't matter. It was totally good. All right, so I'll move. Here.
So the wood, like she's feeling this hit. I know it's hard to believe. I'm not even trying to hit her hard. It's a hard hit because I'm sinking it into her body. So in my hand, look at it. It's open. I'm gonna use the back of my hand.
Hold on. I just want you to let you guys know how much I love you all to be doing this and on film. That's all.
It's open. Open.
Oh,
See, it's open.
man, that didn't feel good, y'all.
No. Is it working?
Oh,
It
yep,
is working.
I see
It's
it
working. It's working. It's working. It's working.
Hey, this is CJ Jamie, Seafood Larry here, and all those clips you just saw are for our patrons on Patreon, and it's just a little extra way of us to say thank you to everyone that helps support Enter Shaolin and Enter Tai Chi to grow. So if you want to get access to all that content, plus more exclusive content on a regular basis, for as little as a $5 donation, you can get access to all that and then some. So go to entershaolin.com/Patreon. The link's right there for y'all, okay? Enjoy. We'll see you on the inside. Peace. Hey family, what is up? Welcome to another Wednesday public Q&A here at Enter Shaolin and Enter Tai Chi. I'm your host, Cita Jamie. This is Seafood Foo. We got Seafood Larry manning stuff behind the scenes. Hopefully you can hear us properly this week.
Yeah, I got my mic turned on. I don't
You
know
got
if
your
it's
mic?
Because I'm not doing the sound. I'm over here with you, so I have no idea if it works.
Should
Hello.
check these things before we go live.
Feelings. Nothing more than feelings.
All right, family. Besides being comic relief, we are obviously here to talk about martial arts, kung fu, health,
Fun.
wellness, fitness, and
Good.
anything else within
Over.
reason. So let us know what your questions
Jogging.
are. If you are on YouTube,
Tootsie.
if you're on YouTube, if you'd like your question or comment to go to the top, you can use what's called Super Chat. You can donate any amount. Doesn't matter how much it is. It can be small. It can be big. In all cases, we're grateful. Thank you so much. You just hit that little $sign before you hit comment, and you can send it that way. If you're on Facebook, unfortunately, we don't have enough people that have liked our page yet to get that feature, but they do have something similar like that. So if you haven't already, please make sure you guys subscribe to our Facebook. It's facebook.com/Enter Shaolin. And make sure to share that page on your wall and invite other people to it to help us to be able to get that feature over there on Facebook. And thank you so much in advance. All right, let's see who we have on. We have Richard coming in. Hey, Richard, where are you coming in from, brother? 80 Tolby says, first time in a while that I can kick back and watch in the home. Nice. I'm glad you can just relax and stuff instead of having to be working and bebopping in and out. So congratulations, and I hope you enjoy. Ed is coming on. Let's see. We got 80 Tolby. Oh, we already said that. Sorry about that. I'm just going down the line here. We got Fedi, I believe is how it's pronounced, or Fedi maybe? F-E-D-E. Let me know if I said that right, brother. We also have John M. on. It's coming in from Rhode Island. here where there's snow and ice. Oh my goodness. So I think like, what was it, Saturday? It's supposed to. Yeah, so like it was like 70 degrees and now it's like, you know, cold, wet, rainy and 30 something degrees out and supposedly we're supposed to get snow on Saturday. Like
It's a winter mix. It's like rain, snow.
A winter mix, darling. So we'll see what happens. If we'll get actual snow or if it'll be just the wintry mix. I bet you it's really cold in Chicago where 80 Toby's coming in from. Man, yeah, this weather is nuts around this time of year. Sandy says, greetings family and everyone here. How are you guys? We are good, brother. How are you? Rick, hey Rick. E. Toby says, and here's another weather report from Chicago with Ollie Williams. Ollie, status. Ollie, it's cold. Thank you, Ollie. Oh yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Cold and windy, right? Let me guess. It's definitely windy, right? Errol's coming in from London, UK. Let's see. We got Silas is on. Hey, Silas. Good to see you on. All right. I think Bob is on. Hey, Bob. Hey, Chisaw musician. Richard's coming in from Canada. Man, Canada's huge. What part of Canada, bro? Come on. I'm trying to help people find people. Let us know where you guys are coming in from. You haven't already. Like city and state or, you know, location in your country, because Canada's kind of big. Help me help you find training partners, everyone. Rick says good evening on Facebook. Marcus is coming in from Oregon. Brian says love you guys, so nice to see you. And Sifu, well thank you Brian, appreciate it. Good to see you on. All right, I think we're caught up there. So we have a question from 80 Toby. I already know how I'm going to answer it, but I'm curious to see how Sifu is going to answer this. So it says, question for the stream. How can one get rid of bad energy? I helped a kid feel better, and whatever bad mojo, aka energy, he had attached to me had me sick. I want to know how to get rid of it from going forward. Would you like to answer that?
You want to answer first?
Okay, so I'm an empath, so I am unfortunately very used to other people's energies getting attached to me, and I'm going to tell you how I get rid of it. One, praise and worship helps get the funk off real quick. Like 2, qigong. Again, you're getting rid of all that funky stuff, any kind of stagnant energy in your body, and you can release it. And 3, this is gonna sound really weird, but it is super simple. Just ask yourself if this energy is yours, and if it's not, let it go. I know that sounds like super ridiculously simple, but it really is that simple. It was something that I struggled with when I was a kid. I always knew I was getting other people's sicknesses and energy things and stuff when they were in bad moods or angry or just feeling bad and stuff like that. And I knew like I needed to get rid of it, but I literally did not know how. And I had one of my mentors like say, did you ever say, ask yourself, is it yours to keep? And I was like, well, no, I never thought about that. I knew it wasn't mine, but I never thought about just asking my body if it was mine to help it release it if it was not mine. So it really is that simple. Also, like doing things that bring you joy and happiness. Like I love to dance. So again, that goes kind of back to my praise and worship and stuff. I'm gonna put on some good music and do that. And you can also just like literally just wipe that energy off of you, like send chi into your body and like release it and just shake it off of you. That's how I do those things. Sifu, what about you?
Well, being sick is one of 2 ways, mental and it's physical. Okay, you can make yourself mentally, which can affect your emotions, which will affect your physical. So there's, like you were saying, it's a mind thing and it's a body thing. Sometimes it could be a virus, sometimes it could be negative energy, sometimes it could be a combination of your mind wearing your body down, allowing your body to get attacked. So that all depends, and obviously for me too, it's the word of God. I go into prayer. The main thing is like if you're feeling sick from thoughts, you got to think of something else. That's what's bringing you down. So either go into something like maybe put a puzzle together, read a book, or something to get your mind off of it, because when you think that, it can actually wear you down. Okay, something that makes you sad, you keep dwelling on it, it's gonna break you down. Okay, that's one. So that could be one of the reasons why you can get feeling sick. It's not necessarily physical. It's the outcome
of you mentally draining yourself. And the other one's physical too. It could be something, a virus, it could be a cold, it could be something wrong with your muscles, bad energy flow. So that's the other thing. And how people deal with it, that depends. You know, like they say, not every technique works on everybody. You know, because not everybody's built the same, not everybody responds the same, it's not everybody's pain receptors the same, all that stuff. So what works on one does not necessarily work on the others, right? So you got to find it for yourself. And the most important thing, if it's mental, you got to get your mind off of it. Yeah. Me, like I said, I get into the Word, I go into prayer. I listen to music, and I sing songs that uplift God. It reminds me of that this world is not where I'm at. I'm looking to God and working on His kingdom. And all these things in this world starts to not matter as much for me. It doesn't affect me as much, and that helps relieve a lot of stress.
Right, it changes your perspective.
Right. So, and that, again, that's the mental part. But for me, my escape outlet is through the Word of God, because through Him I can do all things. Through Him is where I get my strength from. So, and not everybody are Christians. So, you know, I'm not going to say everybody, but personally, I think everybody needs to go to the Word of God, because He is alive. He is God. And whether people acknowledge it or not, that's between you and you. But there's magic in God. Like I say, like there's power in God. I should say, not magic. There's power. I've seen people deliver through God, through everything. I've seen it, and I've seen people deliver through, you know, other projects. You know, there's counseling and stuff like that can help people overcome that. But I've seen true deliverance come from the power of God. So again, that's between, you know, me, Jamie, and Sifu Larry. Yeah. And that's one. And like I said, if it's physical, depending what kind of ailment it is, there's different kinds of feelings, right? Some, you know, there's intensity of pain, intensity of sickness. It just depends. For me, and this was me just through the years, even when I got sick, and I don't get sick very often, it's like once every like 8-9 years. But when I do get sick, I work out. I go through my routine of training, and then I'm actually over it. Because once you exercise, you release endorphins. Once you do that, you know, your heart rate goes up. You're pumping the blood out. You're pushing whatever sickness out of your system, really. Your body's starting to do that, and it always makes me feel better when I do that. I actually, like I said, the rare times that I get sick, there are times where I can't even breathe. I'm like, oh, I'm so sick. Like, I don't get sick that much, but when I get sick, it's like 10 years of sickness put into one
all
time.
Out of nowhere.
And it's really heavy, real hard on me. It's like sometimes I can't even take a half a breath, because it's like, you ever like get a 200-pound guy sitting, let's say, on your chest for an hour? It's just so tender, and it's like I can't draw a deep breath. But then I'll push through it, I'll exercise, and that stress and the pressure, because even though the pressure is pushing in, when I exert force, I'm pushing the pressure out. So it's actually bringing the energy out for me. And by the time I'm done my workout, I feel 10,000 times better. So, and that's for me. Exercise is very, very good for you. Laughter is another thing. You know, maybe watching a funny movie, just get yourself to laugh, because it does the body good. So that's my view, okay? And again, it's mental and it's physical, so understand where it's coming from first, recognize that. If it's physical, like I said, it might be biological, it might be a virus. You know, there's nothing you can mentally do about it. You might have to just either ride it out or eat some food, take some medicine, like herbs, roots, stuff like that, that helps the body to create
or even fasting,
the energy
you know,
too. Yeah, that too, you know. So it just depends. But if it's mental, understand, just take your mind off of it. I know it can be hard to do, but you know, like
it's totally possible.
If your child was in danger, you would be thinking about what you're doing or what's going on in your head. You'd be thinking about that person and rescuing them from whatever danger they may be in. So it's all about just trying to get your mind to get it
snapping
right.
out of that state.
Yeah, and then that'll get you to overcome that. I've helped a friend. She's going through the divorce, and all she's doing, she's very upset. She's crying a lot. And you know, when we talk, she's like, I always feel better when I talk with you, because it helps her to get that negativity out that she's got. And I said, yeah, cry, let it out, let it all out. Because when you're done crying, then you can start building, because she's just being torn. And sometimes you just have to let it out.
Right, go through that healing process.
And then you can go, you know, let it all out so you have nothing left to cry or nothing left to hurt, and then you can just start focus on building. So that's the advice I gave her all the time. Like, just it's okay to cry.
Well, I was gonna ask you, Sifu Larry, because you know, sometimes you're also an empath. I know, you know.
Yeah, when
you
I'm
don't
happy,
let people.
I eat, and when I'm sad, I eat.
No, but like, how do you get rid of other people's like energy? Like, let's say like you
I
work with
punch 'em in
someone
the
like
face.
Eats their food.
I eat that food.
You eat their food.
I go,
You
shut
sell
up,
their donut?
I go, shut
up, give me a donut.
That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's quite bad. Give me two.
I'll tell you. Let me get my.
Why don't you have it just on, you silly man? He turns on his microphone and then he doesn't put it on. So what do you do? Like, you know, maybe you were helping someone and all their funk and energies all over you now. What do you do?
I had a student and a friend, and he had a lot of health issues. He was very young. He had cancer, like leukemia.
Rest in peace,
he was
Tom.
born that way. He got all kinds of stuff, hepatitis C. He had gout. He got hepatitis C from a blood transfusion early in the 80s. He was just a little kid.
Amazing guy, though. Amazing guy.
He just was sick all through his life, sick. But so I had a special deal with him, and I didn't really charge him all that much, hardly anything actually. I just liked the kid. We hung out a lot. But he used to come in 5 days a week, and we would do Tai Chi, we do Qigong, we do Tai Chi, we do Qigong. He just exercised with me, and we would just do this internal training. And every time he would come, towards the end, I was just so drained. I was so tired. I needed to rest. And so like for the first year, I didn't know how to deal with it that well. And then that's when I started realizing as soon as he would leave, I would actually do Tai Chi again, and I would do Qigong again.
For you.
And I would center myself, and then I would go for a bike ride, and I found something like that really helped me out. But I was really affected just because there was so much sick, and he was battling so much that you can just feel it. It just comes on you. So that's how I dealt with it.
So prayer, meditation, praise and worship, some form of exercise, right? Qigong, things like that. All these things are great aids to help you. And then, you know, like Sifu said, if it's actual physical like illness, like maybe that person had a virus and stuff like that, then obviously, you know, there's two options. One, you can just go straight up into fasting if you're in a healthy enough place to do that and stuff safely. Obviously, we're not doctors here, so I can't, you know, give you any medical advice, but, you know, do your own research on that. You know, or two, load yourself up with like fresh juices and stuff like that, like living life force natural juices. And I don't mean like the stuff you go buy in the store that's pre-made. Like make some at home and just flood your body with nutrition and stuff like that to help break state. And then laughter. Laughter is the greatest medicine.
This is life in a glass bottle. See, that's real juice.
This was made earlier today.
Real juice. Can you see it?
The real deal.
Real deal right
yum.
here. You can't pay enough for this kind of stuff.
So that's how I'm doing it. And again, like simply, you know, sit there and ask yourself, is this my energy? Is this mine? Is mine to keep? If it's not, release it. And we just gave you multiple ways to release it. So
all I get is tea from her.
Do you want me to start bringing you some juices, Sifu? I will. I'll make you some juices.
Does it taste good?
I like it. Jaya even likes them. So, I mean.
I'll try it. I'll just hold my breath and go up and down if I don't like it.
I
It's
mean,
like, bottoms
you know,
up.
they're not super sweet, you know, but I do like put a good amount of fruit in it.
That green thing you have.
Yeah, this is totally safe.
Hold on, but this is Sifu. He don't eat
Dude,
veggies,
I
man.
know you a long time, Sifu. First tell him what's in it.
Oh my goodness.
Ginger root, spicy
No,
chamomile
that
oil.
one doesn't have ginger in it. That one has
tell
jalapeno.
the ingredients.
Jalapeno, kale, apples, grapefruit, lemon, and celery. That's what's in this one today.
You can do it. Just give me one sip. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Now, this is
Ooh, I can smell it.
15-year-old approved.
can
I don't
smell
know
it.
if it's seafood food approved, y'all, because this
Do it.
is seafood we're talking about. He don't eat veggies, y'all. Okay, so especially green ones.
Okay, we're good.
Woo! Build a life.
Oh,
Build
yeah.
a life for us.
I feel 10 years younger now.
But yeah, so those are some good ways. I hope that helps you. Someone was mentioning, you know, if you know, not just, you know, put on some of your favorite music, right? Dance, or if you play music and stuff, you know, get out your instrument and do things that help you break state is basically, you know, in a nutshell what you need to do. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, let me go and see if we have any other questions. Amit, bro, I have not seen you in way too long. How are you? How's your family? How's your not so baby anymore baby?
We have to admit that we miss you.
We do. We
Admit.
do.
We admit
We miss
it.
you.
We admit it.
I hope you guys are doing good. I really do. Man, I hope we can all get together for like a seminar again. I miss doing seminars and everything.
Me too.
Me too.
It's my calling to be a teacher.
Yep. Bob says, wind blows
calling
lotus
you
leaf.
donuts.
Is that where you're located at? Wind blows lotus leaf? I don't know. Let's see. Sandu says, I'm blessed. Yes. Richard is in Toronto, Canada. Awesome. Sandu said, ukulele. Yes. Good stuff. Chisao musician apparently is Bruce Lee today. And says, nice to meet us, and asked if we would like an autograph. Sure, Bruce, send it on our way. Why not? But he's talking to someone with a screen name Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, is your name actually Bruce Lee? Let me know. Let me know. But hello, welcome.
I see a kung fu question.
What's that?
I see a kung fu question.
I'm working my way through this, trying to find them. Okay, so yes, walking helps reduce stress. Absolutely, Sandude. Ed says, with regards to the bad energy question, what are your thoughts on Reiki? I have not studied enough 100% to comment on it. I will say that I went and tried that before. It was a time I was struggling a little bit. It was like my son's death anniversary, and I just felt like I needed to do something extra to help me get past that. And so here locally, like literally like within 10 minutes like from our office, there was a place that had that. And so I have healing hands naturally. I don't call it Reiki because I don't practice that specifically, but I do have healing hands, and I can help remove people's stagnant energy and help do lots of different things just naturally. It just is one of my God-given gifts. And I will say, you know, and again, this was just with one person, so I can't say for all people, but in this particular lady's case, I was actually healing her energy instead of her healing me. And I went back a couple times because I was just like, okay, that was just weird, you know, to see like, I just wanted to see what was really happening. And it kind of happened again where I was sending her all kind of energy instead of me receiving her energy. And I was like, all right, this is not really working for me because, again, I'm an empath. So if I feel someone else needs help, like I can't help but not help them. So I was paying to help her basically. So, but have you?
I never had Reiki.
Yeah.
But I had a dog that had cancer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that dog got Reiki like every week for months.
Yeah, I remember Aaron had.
And it seemed like it helped Charlie.
Well, it's definitely a healing hands application and stuff but it's not where like the person touches you to kind of hover over it. So I think there could be some merit to it, but as far as like being able to comment fully on it, I haven't like researched the history of it to know exactly where it came from and stuff like that. But healing hands is a real thing. I can attest to that personally. And I know there's all kinds of different, you know, healing hand modalities and stuff like that. Some people just naturally have the gift. Some people can develop the gift. It's kind of like anything else. Like some people are naturally singers and other people can learn how to sing. You know what I mean? So is there merit to it? I will just say possibly, because I think, again, it's going to depend on that individual and if they're able to actually utilize that modality properly on you or not. So it's kind of like finding an amazing Kung Fu instructor like we have over here and behind the scenes over back here too with Sifu Fu and Sifu Larry. Can you find them? Yes. Are they a dime a dozen? No. So that's what I got on that. More to come on that. We'll talk more about that another time. I'll do a little research and give you a full update on my thoughts on that. John says, I struggled with that throughout my life with other people's energies attaching to me and feeling it. And Qigong and Tai Chi really does help. I totally agree with you. My practice with Qigong and Tai Chi has been totally a godsend for helping me to naturally just be able to just remove that kind of stuff and all that funk that sometimes you get around other people that are, you know, maybe not even intentionally trying to be negative, but just kind of are and stuff like that. Bob says, amen, yes. Chisao says, can we get a little bit more volume in the master? Just don't have to overdrive my speakers.
Theory behind this. Me and him had this.
Oh, you got that? Okay, all right.
We talked about it.
Bob says, wow, I love y'all. Well, we love you too, brother. Thank you. Sandu says, same with me, Sifu. I get fever every year, but breaks to the core. Toby says, to add to what happened, let the kid cry and release. A day later, I was on fire, but I'm good now. Well, good. I'm glad you're good now. That is awesome. And I'm glad you're able to help that person out. That is always good when we can help other people be able to have a breakthrough. Bob says, lady works the shuttles. Akbar says, bless you, Jamie. Well, thank you. Bless you too. Yes, Darren, I don't know if you heard the ingredients. And I actually have been cataloging and taking pictures. I'm going to be writing a blog post on some of the stuff that I've been doing with Sifu Larry and my daughter and myself, and giving you guys some recipes on some different juice recipes. That specific one is 1 bunch of kale. It was a pretty big size bunch of kale, a whole thing of celery. There was 2 grapefruits. I did 2 Gala apples and 2 Granny Smith apples. And I usually put ginger in it, but I was out of ginger. So I did a jalapeno pepper to add a little spice because it gets that blood flowing kind of like ginger does too, in a little bit of a different way. So I put that in there, and I put 2 lemons in there. And oh, I forgot to say, half of cabbage, green cabbage, a half a head of green cabbage, about like a medium sized one. So that was everything that was in there. Lots of goodies, lots of good nutrition in there. Oh, and 2 oranges. That is actually definitely everything now. I've covered everything. So 2 oranges, 2 lemons, 4 apples total, a full thing of celery, a full thing of kale, half of the head of green cabbage, and a jalapeno. But I'll send you the full thing. I'll just send you a picture because I took a picture of everything so you can kind of get an idea of sizes and all that good stuff. Jan says, okay, you guys are talking to each other. Akbar says, hi, Sifus. From previous videos, you have said that a straight wrist would mean that the fist has a natural curve when striking. Do you keep that curve, or do you adjust the fist so that the knuckles line up with the wrist?
Okay, let's just take the word straight out and use the word lined. That's the better terminology you want to keep. It's not a straight wrist, because when you say straight wrist, people are going to think this.
Right.
Like this. They're going to think that. This is a lined wrist, okay? This would be what you think is a straight wrist, because they're going to look from the back there. It's actually from the danpian, which is from the center of your palm. That should be aligned to your forearm. If you go like this, you're going to see it's not aligned. So you want to use the term aligned, okay? To make whatever point of you're hitting, let's just say it's the top 2 knuckles, then you would turn your wrist to meet the angle that you need. You never want to bend your wrist, okay, where you think it's straight, okay? That you hit somebody like this and you throw hard, you want to break in your wrist. If you go like this and someone pushes and you kept driving, this is the result of what will happen. You must do this. Now, as you see, if I hit something flat, it's not going to hit. If I turn my wrist like this, then I can hit it flush. It's all about, turning your wrist to make it. But if I do it, I still have that aligned wrist. So it's like a cast where this is always, if you were to drive a spike from my center palm all into my forearm, then this is what I would do to be able to make the hit proper. I would never bend my wrist. You want to break in your wrist, okay? So that's how you want to always get that, again, depending on what you're hitting with. We're going to say the top 2 knuckles. If I'm going like this and I need to hit her, I can hit it this way. If I'm in an angle, then I might twist my wrist in my waist. If I'm going from a hook punch, I'll twist the wrist in an angle where these 2 will hit and make contact. And you can see here, my wrist is still naturally straight, no kidding, aligned, okay? So you want to do it that way. Always torque your wrist to meet the point of impact so you can hit it flush. I call it the triple F. You get that flat, flush feeling. You got to get that feeling like you're hitting that flat. You got to feel like you're hitting straight into it, real flush right in, and that's the way you want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Hitting on a heavy bag is a really, really good way to help you to train how to get your wrist aligned and turning to how you need it to. Same thing on even if you have the rice trainer, you can do that because the rice trainer here is not necessarily flat, so it's got a curve. So you basically can, if I'm turning my wrist, I can hit it this way. If I'm going this way, I can hit it this way. Wherever I'm doing it, I can naturally just turn my wrist to get it to that point where I want it. So even if I'm like this, again, you can see my wrist, it's aligned. So I just get it this way. again this way, again this way, again, 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 again. So again, no matter how it is, if I'm turning my wrist, so even if like this, I could turn my wrist this way and you see my wrist is still. But if I'm going like this, let's say I go like this. This here will make you raise your shoulders because obviously if it's a little lower, you got to lift your arm up to get that to drop. If you just turn your wrist to get to that, you can naturally drop the elbow lower. When you do this, your elbow stays higher. So you will compromise raising your shoulder to get that angle down. This is why you don't want to do that. It will break away your structural integrity. Turning your wrist allows you to stay in that base so you can drive and meet whatever. See, if I'm doing like this, you can see it. But if I'm going like this, you see how the wrist naturally comes up? But if I hit this way, it'll stay aligned. So when you're doing movements like this and you're changing it where you're going to just try to get it to come up, you will straighten out your wrist or you will lift your arm up to get that height you need. When I just do this, I can get the height I need. So again, if I go higher, I will torque the wrist to bring the elbow to align it so I can generate that power to do that. It's all about getting the wrist to turn to meet the angle that you need to impact on. So when you're practicing, you can just practice turning your wrist nice and slow. Feel the top two knuckles always hitting in, no matter how you do it. So eventually you will naturally just get this instinctive feel to do it. It's like riding a bicycle. You just know how to stay in that balance. You'll know how to just naturally hit flush into every time. When I turn, I know how to get that. It's a feeling. It's not a thought. It's a feel. Your muscles will learn it in time. Do it slow, do it nice, do it easy. In time, you will just naturally feel how to do it. You don't have to think it. I don't think how to hit. It just naturally does. I can feel when my shoulders go off. If I'm not driving my base, if I'm kind of leaning my body, this feels weird to me. I can definitely feel because if I've done it 1,000 times right, that little bit off, I would be able to tell. For me, I get to tell how I want to hit. So I'm like this. I just naturally, from hitting so many times on a heavy bag, on a rice trainer, on a jong, it just, do it slow. Slow, smooth, smooth as fast, fast as deadly. You want to do it over and over and over and over till the muscle gets it where you don't think about it. It just instinctively aligns itself to get that impact the way you need it to.
Hope that helps, Akbar. Hope that makes sense. Let us know. All right, we took care of Darren. John says certain vitamins I think are good for memory. Yes, there are definitely vitamins good for memory, but eating lots of fruits and fresh vegetables pretty much covers the gamut on that. Cindy was saying that you should try Indian food. We actually love Indian food.
I've had Indian food.
And he said potatoes. You know, everyone loves potatoes. Even people that don't like vegetables love potatoes.
Because potatoes not a vegetable.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. So he'll eat potatoes, but no green things.
I love mushrooms.
He'll eat mushrooms, but again, that's not a vegetable.
It's a fungus.
It's a fungus.
My brother was arguing about it. He's like, I thought you said you don't eat vegetables. I was like, I don't eat vegetables.
Right, that's not a vegetable.
I said, that's a fungus. He goes, no, it's a vegetable.
He will eat carrots and daikon radish if it's cooked. Vietnamese, how they do the vinegar thing on the sandwiches and stuff. He'll eat that, but that's about it. Like that's it's
the texture I don't like. So like I can't eat tomatoes raw, but if you put it in a soup and you cook it,
you'll eat it that way. Okay, so
I can eat it.
That's the only way he'll do tomatoes. But green stuff, forget about it. Look, we actually saw him eat a piece of broccoli, but he has to have it fully covered in some kind of sauce, and then he just I think he swallowed it. I don't think he chewed. I think he maybe chewed for like a second and went, down. But yeah, no. So for Sifu, if he's gonna get some greens, it's got to be like in a powder form and the flavor really, really masked or something, right?
Yeah. I usually go take like a vitamin. Back in the day, I took it in powder form because it goes in your bloodstream quick. You take it in pill form. First off, you're wasting a lot of your money because most of that, the reason why they overkill all that and your label is because you're not digesting it all because it breaks down into your digestive system. So you're actually just wasting your money for the most part because you're not going to absorb it all. They overkill it because they know your body can't absorb it all at once, and actually you just release it out of your bowel.
Right, so you just pee it out.
No. Yeah, so the ones with the powder, it goes directly to your bloodstream quick. I mean, it's real quick.
That's kind of like the juicing too. Like it goes right into the bloodstream because you have all that fiber removed, so it's not that slow process. It's just like
right. So you don't have to break it down. You don't have to break it down.
Yeah.
So that again, That's how I would take my
Do you eat corn?
vitamins.
You eat corn,
Oh yeah,
right?
I can eat corn.
So he'll eat corn. So he's like like
Corn's not a vegetable.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like, we call that in America a meat and potatoes guy, right? Like, every guy likes, meat, potatoes, and corn, unless you're like, vegetarian or something like that. But for the most part, like, those are the two veggies, even though they're not veggies, but people will call them veggies. You know what I mean? That most people will eat that don't eat actual veggies.
I actually went to a place that I did not know was a vegetarian restaurant. Somebody recommended, said, "Oh my gosh, it's so good there." So I went there and I was like, "Okay, I'll try to eat here." I ordered something I thought was like a beef type of thing. It was a substitute beef,
Right.
I'm looking at my plate. I'm like, "What's all
"What is
these
this?"
greens and all this stuff? Like, holy cows!" And I looked at the thing. I thought that was the meat. It was a meat substitute. It was like tofu type of thing.
Was it a tofu one?
So I was like,
Do you eat tofu?
I did when I was younger.
Okay.
My mom used to fry it.
Right.
And put like a sauce in there, and I can eat
So
it.
smothered and covered and fried.
It doesn't have to be smothered and covered. Like
Just
it was
fried
fried
with a little
with
light
like
flavor?
an Asian sauce.
Okay.
But because tofu is not a vegetable, it's a soybean.
Yeah, it's a bean. Yeah.
So I can eat it, but it's not something I desire to eat.
Right. You're gonna like.
It's not like
Give me that tofu.
yeah,
Yum.
yeah. But yeah, I've eaten vegetables.
But he does
like, at a
eat fruit.
Good,
so,
yeah, I eat a lot of fruit.
So he gets some vitamins and stuff.
I eat
there,
every fruit
so.
except I don't consider tomato fruit, but they say tomatoes are fruit.
Yeah,
I don't
tomatoes are
consider
fruit.
it tomato fruit.
Avocado's
I still
a
think
fruit.
it's a vegetable in my head. I don't like it, so it's a vegetable to me.
Don't worry, there's plenty of people that eat it that still think it's a vegetable too.
But I eat all kinds of fruit, all kinds, like all kinds. I just don't eat vegetables, and I say tomatoes are vegetable.
But yeah, so Sandy, we've gone like trust me, like again, he'll eat tomatoes and potatoes if we go to like Indian cuisine, type of thing. But again, that's a fruit and a tuber, not a vegetable, right? But if there's like peas or the spinach and stuff and some of the dishes and stuff, he ain't eating that. He gonna pick that right on out.
I can eat spinach if it's in a soup. Again, if you cook it. I can't eat raw vegetables.
Have you ever tried the one? It's I forget what it's called, but it's like a paneer. It's got the little white cubes of cheese in the Indian restaurants with the spinach and stuff and a cream sauce.
Like I've eaten Italian weddings. They have vegetables in there. I've had
He might eat that
soup.
one.
I've had minestrone soup.
We're gonna test it
I
out.
can eat
We're gonna
it
take
when
him
it's
to
cooked.
Eat some Indian food.
It changes the texture, and that's really what it is for me. The texture. When it's cooked, it breaks down easier in my palate.
Dude. I'm gonna see if he'll eat it.
But I've had spinach soup. Like you ever have what's that called? When you go to a Japanese restaurant, that soup they give you, it's like mostly water, onions, and they have spinach in there.
Oh no, that's seaweed.
Whatever seaweed.
That's miso soup.
Yeah, miso soup. That's it. So I've eaten that. I've eaten that. As long as like that, if it's cooked and it's boiled, it changes the texture to me.
So
it's
you got to
really
kill almost all the life force, and then he'll consume it.
There you go.
or
you can just juice it,
and he'll be good, and he'll get the life force. There we go.
I've had Caesar salad. I've tried to eat salad.
He does.
I have
really
tried.
Does not like.
I just don't like the texture.
So his children are the same way. So his youngest daughter, Peyton, is around the same age as my daughter, Jaya, and Kara, which is Larry's daughter. And she was sleeping over one time. They were all having a sleepover.
And they do it in watermelon, yeah.
And they got her to put one of those like cherry tomatoes in her mouth. Oh man, you should have seen her face. I wish we would have filmed it. She spit it right back out. We were like, come on, just try chewing it. She's like, It was so bad.
She's my daughter.
Yeah, she definitely is for sure. Oh, Errol said, I do a lot of walking for miles, which relaxes me. Yeah, that's a great exercise. Praying every day, my music and my martial arts as I'm dealing with my mom's funeral arrangements at the moment. Oh, I'm so sorry, brother. I know how that is to be going through that and all that same stuff, staying focused on the Most High, my prayer life, music that uplifts you. I made sure that I did my Qigong and Tai Chi like 2 times bare minimum, morning and evening. It didn't matter. There were some nights while we were planning her funeral that I didn't get to go to bed till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I made sure no matter what time I went to sleep or I got up that I did those things and made sure my prayer life was on point because it really did help me be able to get through that. So I'm glad that you're utilizing all your tools to help you get through that. And I'm going to keep praying for you because I just know how that feels. And, you know, parents are not replaceable at all. It sucks. But I'm glad that you were taking care of you because that is super important all the time, but especially right now. She's out and says they don't eat any sea salt or things added to baked goods like baking powder or other additives. Awesome. That's good.
MB has a good question.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was almost there. Okay, so I'll get to Edie Toby and Sandude in a second. MB says, I'd like to take Tai Chi classes. The problem is I look for understanding why a movement is made. Should those movements be explained?
Okay.
Good question.
You don't need to understand the application of the movement in combat or anything. You need to understand the principles. That should be explained to you. You need to create the principle to understand what you're doing. You don't need to understand its application in a combat, because if you're doing it just for the health of it, you don't need to do the martial arts side of it. Now, if you're trying to train for the combat side, yeah, then eventually you have to be explained what to do. But you really, first and foremost, have to understand the basic principles of why you're doing that, for the energy, for how to get the energy out. That's what you need to do first. The combat side is something later. When I learned from one of my Tai Chi teachers, he learned Tai Chi for his health. He said he was overweight, his heart was bad. The doctor told him he had to find exercise or some type of exercise to get himself healthier or do Tai Chi. He said, I was fat and lazy. I didn't feel like doing any type of exercise, so he did the Tai Chi. And he loved it. He started liking it, and he did it for 10 years. After 10 years, his teacher's like, now I'm going to start teaching you the combat. You know, and he's like, you've been with me for like 10 years now. He's gotten his form, he's gotten the energy, so he started teaching the application after 10 years. Now, he wasn't looking for the combat side, but he got so good at the Tai Chi where he got the energy principles, ability to move, to channel Chi, and all that stuff. His teacher's like, the next level I'm going to teach you now is the combat side of it. So he wasn't in no rush. Like, he wasn't going like, I want to learn martial arts for combat. He was doing it for his health. He was doing it because he was overweight. He was telling me like, he goes, me like this when he started. He's showing me like his gut was out here. He's flat as a board. I mean, he's flat, like flat. And I'm like, man, well, you were fat? Like, I could never tell. I could never guess he was fat. He was like flat as a board. And he was strong too. It was like 80 years old and his grip was like twice as strong as mine. And he just did it through the Tai Chi. His Chi was very powerful, very strong. I felt his Chi. He was throwing people around like they were nothing. Okay? He didn't throw me around, just to let you know.
But everyone else?
Everyone else, I just watch him. I'm standing there, and he'll push hands. He should just show combat control. He could feel energy. So within like 3 moves, he just took everyone out. Just threw him. He dumped them. He went to me, did it to me, tried to do it. I didn't lose my balance. He tried to push me. He couldn't do it. I recovered, brought it back to him. I didn't want to counter him by pushing him because I had respect for him. I didn't want to, if I could take him, embarrass him in front of everybody. But he went back and forth. He did like 10, 15 moves to me. And then he's like, stops and he goes, you? Good. Taps me and says, you? Very good. And I was like, that was a proud moment for me because it's like, I know a lot of people say I'm very good, but, and I'm not, it's no disrespect to anybody else, but normally when people who aren't really highly skilled, they don't know what good means yet until they really have that level. So I take it as a compliment, but it doesn't mean much because they don't know what good is yet. So I take it with a grain of salt. But my teacher was very, very good. To have someone of that caliber say that to me, it meant a lot because I know he knows what good is. I know he knows what level of greatness is. And so when he says, I'm good, that means that he understands that I'm at that level. Someone who's like this, someone who has no idea how to play a piano versus someone who plays a piano for 2 years and plays like, man, you're really good. It's like, no. You know, like his teacher might be playing for 15 years, and tear it up. He's like, no, I know very little. I'm not that good. You know, so when people say, oh, you're really good, I take it, like I said, as a compliment. I appreciate it, but they don't know what good is yet until I've come across, I understand that until I come across a master level, you can tell me that, you know. But my teacher, like I said, when you're doing Tai Chi, understand the principles of movements so you can better your movement. Don't worry about the combat side. That's another, unless you're trying to fight, you know, trying to learn the combat side first. It depends on what your objective is, right? Most people do Tai Chi for the health side of it first. And I believe that one should understand and build the basics to get a strong foundation first. Before you start building up on it. You know, we were just, I don't know if it was into Shaolin we did it, we talked about it, but we talked about, you know, I keep my students, you know, depending on their ability to learn. Sometimes, you know, people in Wing Chun schools, they get to Seoul Town in 6 months and they're going on Chamkyul, and then they're going to Bill G within a year. At the time, like back when I had my other school, my students would be in Seoul Town for like 3 years.
Or longer.
Sifu Larry was like 5. You know, like everybody, some students, like, I won't let you go to the next level till I know you have that foundation down.
Yeah.
Because when that foundation is strong, when I get you to that next level, you will build that very strongly.
And you're going to beat people that like are excelling really fast as far as like going through the paces at Seoul Tao level when they're like already through Bilji and Chamkyul.
If it's weak, when you try to build up on that and you just go running through, you're going to collapse. You're never going to do it. Your basic foundation. It's like trying, like I said, it's just building foundation that is only like 1 foot, you know, into the ground, and you're trying to build a 60-foot floor building. It's not going to last. You've got to build strong roots. You know, you look at a big tree. They say when you look at a tree, how tall it is, that's the radius of its roots reaching out. You know, that's how much it's got to build itself to hold itself up there. So I believe in the same thing. I believe strong foundation gives you strong development. And you know, and I've always seen it. My students who be like 5, 6 years would spar with guys who are like 12, 13 years, 14, 15 years, and my students would still beat them. They're because their foundation is much stronger. These guys are trying to do all these fast moves hard, but the foundation is so bad they can break. And my students have a very good foundation. They don't break. They want to break in the person, and they have much better response. Okay, don't worry about levels, because that's just actually, like I said, it's built upon the first level. Seoul Tao, all forms, let's say Wing Chun. We're going to just use Wing Chun as an example. Seoul Tao is the most important form you can master. Okay, Bill G, Chamkyul, flashy, fancy stuff. Seoul Tao is that. The flashy, fancy stuff becomes effective when Seoul Tao is effective. It's like your drive and your torque is no good if your base is not there. Seoul Tao is like your base. Your Chamkyul is like your drive. Your Bill G is like your torque. Just think of it that way. It's your first floor, second floor, third floor. How can you build a good third floor if your first floor or second floor is weak, not able to support it, it'll collapse. So you must always build the foundation first. In Wing Chun, Seoul Tao is the foundation. Getting your structure. I've come across a lot of Wing Chun guys, masters, guys have been training. You know, the fundamental thing I do is like, look, you know, just show me your power. Because at the end of the day, if you can't hurt me, I don't care what your hands do. If you can't do enough damage to me, I'm just going to smash right through you. So I just let them hit me as hard as they can in the chest. Hard as they can possibly stand. I say, you take whatever stance you want. I'm going to walk through like I want to punch you. I'm just going to come in. And you just hit me to stop me. And they always bounce back. It always shows that they no matter how, they're like, they just bounce back. And you can see it go into the shoulders. And they don't have that foundation to understand how to get the energy out. And I'll stand with my feet together. I don't even take a strong stance. I just stand with my feet like side by side or together to show them that I don't need to throw my size. I need to focus the energy. I need to get the energy from the ground and focus it into the point. A lot of people don't do that. They just throw. They'll go like this, and they're like, and you can see like energy's bleeding here, going to the shoulders, the head. Sometimes they lean their body. Like I had MMA guys. They're like, are you kidding? Like, you really want me to hit you as hard as I can? At first, they hit me with 50% power, thinking that they can like take me out with 50% power. Then they feel like, man, that guy's a brick wall. Then they go out to like 100, and then they go 120, 100. They're throwing everything they can. I had a Muay Thai guy who'd been training for 12 years, elbowed me 6 times, as hard as he could in the chest. I just ate it. I just elbowed him from like this much away, maybe 2-3 inches. Boom! And I dropped him. He collapsed. You know, he didn't drop on the floor, but he collapsed his body. Like he took a few steps back. And again, it's all about getting the foundation. They don't have good foundation. They just build on top of clay. They don't build on top of stone. You know, that needs to be there, because that's what's going to build the rest of your techniques. So you always want to create that foundation, to understand the principle of how to get the energy out. And you know, some teachers are going to teach a certain way. I'm not going to say who does what, whatever. But for us, it is about getting the energy from the ground into the wrist for us in Tai Chi. A lot of Tai Chi schools will teach the waist is the most important. You need to get a strong core. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist and that they're wrong. But it's half the picture. It's like being able to point your gun at someone but never squeezing the trigger. Or being able to learn to squeeze the trigger but never learn how to aim properly. It's like that. You must learn to get it from your waist into your wrist. If the energy does not go into your wrist, it's like pointing a gun but never able to squeeze around. Or you can think of it like being able to squeeze around but can't get the aim. It's either way you look at it, you're not going to effectively hit the target. You must get the energy in your wrist in Tai Chi through the waist. Let's just say that. A lot of people talk about the waist and the wrist is dead. In combat especially, it's no good. It has no value whatsoever. It's like fighting with no hands, no arms. You know, it's like she's punching me and I'm going to go like just punch. Like, that's really what it's going to be like. So when you bring your hands up and she's punching me and I'm going like this, and you'll see a lot of people tend to do, it's because they don't know how to create punching to me. Like they don't know how to create the structure, to create the base, the drive, and the torque. A lot of people do this and they'll try to turn their waist and do that. It doesn't work. Your mass is in your body is much, much more than that of your wrist. You're not going to move as fast. It's going to cost you more energy. It's going to cost you much time because you have to move your body much bigger than you do your waist, so you're wasting more time. Yeah. So you must get where's your contact point? When you're in combat, where's your contact point? It's in your arms, right? Nobody, like I said, unless you're really good at taking it in the face, nobody blocks with their face and their head. You block with your arms. You intercept from there, right? You don't intercept with your shoulders. You don't intercept with your ribs. You don't intercept with your tongue. You intercept with your arms. So you got to get to the wrist so the wrist can deal with the point. That's why it's always important to get in the wrist. Because if you're making contact with your arms, but you don't bring life here, even if she says she punches me and I'm like this, and I get this can collapse. Or if I'll go and I turn my waist and my arms will go, it'll collapse. You got to get it to the wrist so the wrist has the ability to do this. Remember, you could turn your wrist without your waist, but you can't turn your waist without the wrist. So a lot of people, when they turn the waist and the wrist isn't alive, it's no good. I can turn my wrist without my waist. I can make my wrist turn and not turn my waist. But when I turn my waist and I don't have the ability to turn my wrist, I'm failing the technique. So you must get the energy from the ground through your waist and into your wrist. That's the best way I can say it. So that's the basic principle. If you're taking Tai Chi, you must learn to do that. I'll give you that as a free tip. You must learn to get it from the ground, through your waist, into your wrist. Not through into your waist and then just drag your wrist. The hands can't be the tail end of the snake. It must be the head of the snake. So that's a basic principle. Whichever Tai Chi teacher you go to, if he doesn't teach that principle, he's teaching you half Tai Chi. Yeah. He's only teaching you Tai.
No Chi.
No Chi.
No Chi.
Okay, he's only teaching you Tai. He's teaching a way, not the way.
Yep.
Okay?
If you want to learn the way, feel free to join us at innershelling.com/join, sign up, get you on an orientation, and we can put you in the right direction. We already have the Tai Chi, all 3 parts filmed and broken down in extreme detail, as well as the applications and stuff like that, because we don't just do Tai Chi for healing and health. That is definitely part of it, but we also do it for combat too. So welcome, and I hope to see you on the site soon. Oh no, it just ran away. Where'd it go? Aha, there we go. Cheese Out Musician said, YouTube has been showing me water-filled punching bag videos. Ever use one? I have not personally. Have you used a water-filled punching bag?
Yes, I had one. That's a water-filled right there.
Right. Oh, that's water-filled?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was water-filled.
Yeah, that's water-filled.
Then I've used one too.
Yes.
There you go. I didn't realize that one. I knew that was a water-filled one. I didn't know that one hanging up was. So yeah, they're good to train with.
Yeah, water can't compress, that's true, okay? But air can compress. Unless you fill that bag all the way to the top where there's no more air, you're always going to get compression when you hit. Okay, and then you got the foam around it that can compress as well.
Yeah.
True water can. A little trivia that a lot of people don't know. Like, we don't have anything in this universe that we know of that can stop ice from expanding. If we contain it in any type of material, if you freeze it, it will break anything.
Yeah.
The molecules, when they freeze, there's nothing we can have. You can put 20, feet of steel all around it with a liquid, and you just fill that up to the top, and you seal that off.
Yeah, you gotta.
If you freeze it and expand, it'll break right through it. It'll break the metal. It cannot stop it from expanding. Water cannot be stopped that we know of right now. We don't have anything that can stop water from expanding if you freeze it. There's nothing we can hold to contain that from expanding. Once it expands, it's gonna. Bam. Nothing can stop it. that we know of.
Triple A coming in from Japan. Good to have you on here. Let me go see. We had some comments that I want to go over. Yes, Baron. He loves fruit. He's good with the fruit. The fruit is good. Cindy says, do you like seeds or pulses like wheat, for instance?
I don't eat like sunflower seeds. I don't eat seeds like that. I don't like the work of it. You know, like I don't want to do that. It's too much work for me. I'll eat like a poppy seed that's on a bun. If it's on there, I don't mind eating that. But I don't like doing the work of trying to break that. I see people do it. It's like, hey, more power to you. That's not me. But I don't mind eating grains. I eat like bars with grains on it and wheat. I try to stay away from wheat, though. I don't really like to eat wheat bread and stuff like that. I've done the studies on it.
Yeah. I try to stick with the heirloom grains, but even then, I don't really eat a lot of grains anymore because it just does not sit well with me. Baron says, fruit without seeds? Well, you should be getting the fruit
like
with
seedless
the
watermelon,
seeds.
you know, seedless grapes.
No.
You know, I'm just saying, like there's.
Yeah, there is because man made it that way. But if you want the health benefits, the full ones, you want the ones with the seeds, and you want to eat the seeds.
They eat the seeds. I'm like,
Yeah, do you remember, like, you can hardly ever find them anymore, like seeded watermelons and seeded grapes, but like that's like where all the resveratrol really is in the grape seed, and a lot of like all kinds of nutrients in the watermelon seeds and stuff like that too. So I like seek out the stuff with the real deal because it's a lot of cancer fighting ingredients and other things to help you be strong and healthy. So there's a reason the Lord put those seeds in there, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that.
so they can reproduce.
Well, that's part of it, but it's also for your health. And there's a lot of studies done like on different civilizations that still consume a lot of the seeds naturally in the fruits and their health benefits.
Can't eat apple seeds though. That's actually quite bad for you.
Actually, no, you can't eat apple seeds. You just can't eat too many of them.
That's what I mean. Like you can't eat a whole bunch.
But
like
do you understand like the amount you'd have to eat to like overdose?
Because they have cyanide elements in them.
But there's a cyanide in a lot of stuff that you eat that you don't even know that's naturally occurring. You would have to eat an insane amount of apples to do that. But even so apricot seeds, a lot of people don't know, has cyanide in them too, especially the bitter ones. And they're actually good for helping fight cancer. I think it's the Hunza tribe. They are known for eating apricot seeds. Because they eat like, you know, the whole apricot, they use the whole apricot and stuff like that. And that was how they did a study on them, and that's how they found that out. So small doses, good. Mega doses, not so good. But that's like with anything. You can drown internally from drinking too much water. So everything, you know, with a grain of salt, as they say. Mostly everything. Not man-made stuff. Throw that stuff out, okay. John says he likes honeydew and watermelon. Those are great. We like those. Very, very good. I do not know how to pronounce this name. It's in Hebrew, and I do not recognize all of the letters, but it says, hi, Sifu, how do you counterattack 1-2 combinations?
Okay. Counterattacking is being offensive, okay? So depending on the range, depending on the distance, so everything's different, okay? Depending on how they attack, the angle which they attack. The key principle is hit back. Don't go for the defensive techniques, go for counteroffensive techniques. So you're asking the same thing, and I'm telling you the same thing too. Don't go for blocking techniques. If she's throwing like a 1-2 punch, I'm not going to be like this and try to get this and try to deal with that. My job, if she's throwing a 1-2 punch, is damage and get it in before she does. So I'm going for the hit, going for the counter hit. Okay. I always like to say, you know, if you're not attacking, you counterattack. If you're not counterattacking, attack. Okay. We don't defend. Okay. Defensive puts you in a defensive position. It gets you in that. I don't want to get hit. I got to get it away from me. I'm not trying to attack him. I'm trying to stop him from attacking me. No, attack or counterattack, but do not defend. That's why a lot of self-defense techniques don't work. One, it relies on them coming after you, so you're letting them initiate. You're allowing them to deal the pressure. You're allowing them to control the force in the beginning. Okay, so that's wrong. Two, it puts you in the wrong mental state. It puts you in the defensive mode, like I said. It makes you want to get rid of the energy or the attack you want to consider. So let's say she's punch. You're trying to get it away from you. So you're not allowing any attack. Remember, it takes three things. It's one of three things, not take three things. It's one of three things that you could do to stop an attack. You'd either knock them out, lock them out, or they get what they want, right? So if you're defending, are you doing anything to hurt them? No. So they'll continue. And this is why defensive techniques don't work, because you're not training to create the damage. Okay? You can block all you want. If you can't create the damage, it's not going to work. It's not going to work well, because you're already in a bad position already. You just better hope that you can take more damage than they can dish out. That's your best luck. You know, this is why I always tell people, like, in a fight, if you have to choose between one or the other, you can either be the guy attacking and hitting the other guy, or the guy getting hit and defending. What would you rather be, the guy getting hit or the guy doing the hit? Most people will say, I'd rather be the one hitting. Okay, so you're expressed that that's what you'd rather be the guy doing. So why learn self-defense? Why are you learning self-defense to wait for them to attack you? Attack them back, counterattack them, or attack them first. The difference between attacking and counterattacking is who goes first.
Right.
Okay? She puts her hands up like this, boom, I attacked her.
Man,
That's me attacking her. She punches me first, I counterattack. I hit her first. I let her throw the first punch, but I hit her first. So that's the difference between attacking and counterattacking. She throws the first punch, or I throw the first punch. But if she throws it, I'm always going to be the one that lands it. I don't care who throws it first. It's who lands it first. True. I'm always the guy who's landing it first, so don't lean in on it. But if she's punching me, like that, any combination, like here, I go into hitting in the punch. And rather than go like this, trying to get the hands down, she'd already punched me by that. If I'm going like this, and I'm going like this and here, she could punch me already. Me, I go into the pressure, like boom, I put the pressure on her. I hit the arm so I can hit the face. My mental state is never to get the hands out, to get my hands in. I do not think, okay, how do I stop that pressure from coming in? I got to get rid of the hands. I don't go like this. She throws. I don't go like get rid of her hands. Right. I never get rid of her hands. Don't punch her. I damage the limbs. I make it so that they don't want to hit me because I hit them. Striking. Okay, and if you, I always like to say this too. Intercepting hands always have to hit without resetting. It has to reset to hit. You didn't do it right. Okay, if I'm going like this and I'm going bang, 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 I'd be dead by then. You have to go bang, bang. Or you can go like this, go bang. You have to have the intent to hit behind every move. If you don't have that intent to hit, you're doing it wrong. This is why defensive techniques don't work, because they can attack you again. You must damage them. If she's throwing 2 punches, don't punch her, okay, because it'll hurt you. But I'm going to go bang, and I can step back, and she can punch me again, but I'm damaging it. I can damage it again. I can sit, hit. I don't have to continually hit, especially if I'm not ready.
I have to be like super angry to come in for that second one.
I will step back, like, just give me light. Like I said, I'll go slow. But she's attacking. Let's say I wasn't sure, I wasn't ready to come in and engage. I might disengage, but engage that. So as she's punching me, I might step back because I wasn't ready, but I will attack that. Then I will attack that after. So you can do that. And again, I can do kicks. All depends on your range. There's so many combinations. Like, can you give me 2 numbers that equal 100? Yeah, 50-50, but there's 60-40, there's 70-30, there's 75-25, there's 82-19 or 18, right? So there's tons of methods in which you can get to 100. I could do like, she can throw a punch at me and I go and go into that. So I can pop her hand up and go for the lower attack. Again, but the same principle applies. I'm attacking, I'm engaging, I'm putting the pressure on the point, not against the point. There's a difference. Against the point means you're trying to overcome the force in which you engage with. Into the force means I'm damaging the point in which I connect to. So that's the difference. So I'm never fighting against the pressure. I'm going into the pressure. I put the pressure on my opponent. Always create the intent to create the hit, to make the move work. I never, ever try to get their hands away from me. I'm always trying to get my hands into them. So that's what you want to think of all the time when you're engaging any combat. Like she's throwing a punch, I'm not trying to be like this and go, move up and try, because she's dictating. If I'm not ready, she's punching me like that. I go like this, I'll be here. Now I'm going into that. I do not go after her hands. I go into her hands and into her face. And if I see her pulling back, I'm just going to go in her face. I'm not even going to wait for the punch to come. If she's one of these guys throwing a haymaker, I'm just going to, and I'm just going to throw my hips into it, drive that, put my guard up, but I'm going to push that right into her face fast and hard. And it's like the best way I can tell you, the way we hit versus the way most people hit, we do piercing techniques. That's very effective. Yeah. Compression techniques, it depends on your size and your force against the opponent's ability to resist. It's like take a sledgehammer that weighs 50 pounds. You swing it as hard as you can. A 100-pound guy, he's dead. When you get to a 400-pound guy, he can eat that. He could take that force. He's so thick, so big. His mass is so hard. He could probably eat that. But you turn that sledgehammer and you make it into a pickaxe, into a very small point, they all drop. Not a single person will take it. And that's the way we teach you how to hit, to create a piercing type of technique. So the best way I could tell you how it feels is, have you ever in your life kind of say goodbye to somebody or do something where you didn't see it, you put your head up, or you turn around, you hit a corner of a door or a cabinet, a chair, some door on the car that stuck out, and you put your head up and the hood thing hit you, and you're like, didn't take that much force, but it was enough to stop you. It's because when you turn, you hit right into it. It did not have a breaking point in its body unless a swinging door, but when you hit it, it was enough to make you go, oh my gosh, that hurts so bad, because it's piercing. Because when you turn, all that point of contact hit that one single point, and that was just from you turning. That's not from that thing coming at you 100 miles an hour doing the same thing. So this is how you want to do it. You got to create the counterattack, but you also have to know that when you counterattack it, it has to make the difference. And it's not about throwing everything you got behind it. Okay? A knife does not need you to throw everything you have it. When people, and I ask people the same thing, and when you do a knife, do you throw everything you have behind it, or you focus until that point to pierce? And you would focus, right? It's the same thing when you hit. We teach you how to focus that hit, not throw everything you have. We turn the mask, don't get me wrong. We're not saying don't do it. We're just saying don't use that as a driving force to make the damage. It's the speed, the focus with the mask. But in the end, the two prevailing factor is your speed and your focus. A knife is not that big. A bullet's not that big. You throw it at someone, the bullet drops. You shoot out of a gun, you drop. What changed? It's the speed, right? The mass didn't change. Obviously, like in science, mass, force, and focus, that's how you get power. So if your mass isn't that strong, you have to increase your speed and your focus. Okay? If your mass is bigger, okay, then you can decrease your speed to get the same power. Again, it's all mathematics, right? So if I'm a bigger person, I can't move as fast, that's okay. That's fine. You just put your hips into it. And not mass upper body. A lot of people do from the upper body. You get to do your whole body, you got to do it from your hips. In boxing, Muay Thai, they always tell you throw it from the shoulder. It actually should be from your hips, because then your shoulder, when it disengages and it turns, it's actually disengaging the lower half of the body. It actually takes the energy off. It puts it in your lower back, puts it in your shoulders. If you can turn your shoulders with the hips, you're doing your whole body, you can actually take it from the ground. And I always like to say, who do you know is bigger than the earth, right? If there somebody you knew bigger than earth, we'd probably be living on them. So use the ground. That's the greatest force you can get from is from the ground, not from your body. A lot of people will throw their weight. I'm not saying it's bad, but when you're a 200-pound guy hitting a 100-pound guy, sure, it works great. When you're a 100-pound guy hitting a 200-pound guy, not so great.
Right.
So use the earth, because nobody's bigger than the earth. You can generate a lot more power using the earth. It takes a lot less energy to accelerate that than it is to use your whole body. Just use your hips, your wrist, and drive that through that. And again, that's the three proof that we do.
And if you'd like to know more about those principles, it sounds like you might be new to what we do here. All you have to do is go to entershellen.com/gift, fill out the form, make sure that you'll get a little confirmation email. Make sure you click the link on that to confirm your subscription. You'll get a welcome email that'll tell you how to get access to our 5 free-day videos, as well as our introductory ebook that covers a lot of these principles that we're talking. And if you love what you see there, you can jump on a call with us and stuff like that. We can jump on Zoom and find out like what you're looking to achieve with your martial arts and how we can help you. And if you're ready, you can join as a full member and get access to all this training that we're talking about in full depth, in full detail. Real quick, I'm going to cover a couple comments and we're going to wrap it up because we ran a little bit over time. Brian says on Facebook, I love listening to the stories. Your team is the deal. Nothing but love and respect. Thank you, brother. And he also said a heartfelt thank you to Jamie for your hard work and all that you do for your Kung Fu family. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That made my day. Thank you so much. And Errol says, absolutely, CJ, Jamie, respect to you as well, brother. And I will be seriously keeping you and your family in my prayers. If there's anything specific I can pray for you, feel free to let me know in private. You know how to reach me, and I'll be glad to do that for you. Let's see real quick. Silas says, so I shouldn't feel bad that I'm still doing Silam Tao after a half year. Absolutely not. So
you think you're that good?
Yeah, definitely don't be sweating that. No. You are still a young buck on that for sure. Young boy says, this is why I want to train with you in person. Well, young boy, I don't know if you're a member, but start training with us online so you can get the benefits. And then when you come and train in person, we can help refine the stuff that you're learning. Brian says, I have an aqua bag too. Awesome. Sand dude. Okay, yep, we're good there. Yes, punching trees. That's a great way to train. Absolutely. John says, she saw years ago, okay, you guys are talking back and forth. Toby says, I'll admit when I do my karate forms, if I think about ground, waist, wrist, ankle techniques, feel light as a feather. That's awesome, bro. Congratulations. That's good. Sam says all Kung Fu styles. Oh no, where'd you go?
I think it's down.
It just jumped. There's Ralph. Nope. It was further up.
It's right here. I have it.
Sam,
all Kung Fu styles.
oh, there you go. Okay. Sam says all Kung Fu styles have nearly most of the same moves as Wing Chun for some reason. We'll address that real quick.
Okay. All combat is basically the same. I don't
Punch
care
is a
what
punch,
style
is
you take.
punch.
You still got
Kick.
arms, forearms, right? You got hands, wrists. So there's only so much you can do. What makes a style different from another style is the combination, the flow in which you move. That's really what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
I always like a punch, a punch, a punch, a block's a block, a block, a kick's a kick's a kick, whatever you want to call it, right? It all comes the same. You know, in the end, it's about getting your arm to intercept the point. Now, here's the difference between styles and everything. It's the manner in which you move behind it that makes it great or bad, okay? And I'm not talking about the style. I'm talking about where you move the energy behind it, okay? For us, we always talk about the energy, okay? I always say, I think karate hands, like when they get to the position of their blocks, great positions, great. The structural integrity behind it, the energy behind it, not so great, okay? And that's where it's bad, okay? You can take an architect, right? And you can have him build the best structure, like everything's designed sound, but he made it out of paper. Like even though the structural integrity is there, like the way he aligned it, because the structural integrity is weak, it's going to collapse. You have to build that to where it has the ability to sustain pressure and then convert the difference if it becomes too much, not withstand the difference. And that's where the underlying principle of everything goes. And I'm not trying to knock karate. I've just done a lot of seminars for karate schools and everything. When they do karate, everything's like here, and they do it from their shoulder. And I've had a black belt, you know, a demonstrator. I had him I threw a hook punch at him. I said, I want you to block this, okay? I mean, I'm going to throw a hook punch at you. You're going to know it's going to come. And I asked him if he's right hand or left hand. He's right hand, so I said, I'll throw my left. And he goes to block it, and I'll still drive through, and I go, oh, right, and I connect to his face, not hard, just to give him a tap shoulder. Like, yeah, I broke through. And it's because he's doing everything from the shoulder. Once I taught him 3-proof, taught him how to do the wrist, we went like 15 minutes of training how to get that. Then I did it again. This time he was able to stop it. And it wasn't because I let him. I did punch him. First time he messed, I was like, no, you didn't base enough. And then I would do it again, and then he based stronger. I said, oh, your hand dropped. I said, don't turn your hand into your face. Like, just bring it up, get the technique, turn it into me. And then once he fixed it to the points where he is off, he was able to stop it, even doing the motion he did, because he was going from like this, from the shoulder. Rather, I taught him how to drive and torque the wrist into that point. And he did it all from the swing of the shoulder. And so it makes a difference. It's not the structure, it's the energy behind it. I tell my students all the time, don't look at how your hands are positioned. You know, some schools, like some Wing Chun schools, oh, it's got to be 6 inches from the body, it's got to be 90 degrees from here, 45 degrees. Forget that. In a fight, you cannot be exact every time. There's no way you're going to be exactly the same position all the time with your hands. It's just not. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about the ability to take it where you are and control the energy from that position and learn to adapt to that energy, okay? It's like walking a tightrope, you know, people like try to be perfectly vertical. That's one way. I can tilt my head so long as I have counterbalance. So if I tilt my head this way, as long as I have a counterbalance, I can be stable. It's all about learning how to balance out the energy to which you position your arms and stance with, okay? So that's really the most important thing. So it doesn't matter, you know, that's why our motto is...
Don't let style define you, let energy refine you.
We're
Because
not
it doesn't
about
matter about the style.
It's not about the style, because a karate guy can beat a boxer can beat a karate guy, a wrestler can beat a jiu-jitsu guy, can beat a wrestler. It's all about how you are moving the energy and getting to that position at that time. Style is just a word. It's a word I said. It doesn't make it better because I said it's from that style. It's about how you do it. It's about the way you do it. And that's what it is. I don't tell people, oh, you're karate, well, you got to come to Kung Fu side and do this. No,
we're going to help you.
You can do your karate and still,
refine
if you refine what you do through the energy, you'll be the best karate you could be through the energy. It's about the way you move the energy behind what you do.
Absolutely.
That's the more important than calling the style and where you move. Karate does this, whereas Kempo will do it like this, and Wing Chun will do it like this. Like it's about how you do it. Okay, there's a reason why Wing Chun hands fail in boxing, because it's not done right.
Except for our Wing Chun. What?
I am not going to go into describing tell you why it fails. I can go through the science.
I was
and
gonna
tell you
say
why.
we've already
I'm not gonna
discussed
do
that
that.
probably like a bazillion more times.
But-
Just watch some of our old videos.
But
You'll find some.
there's a
about
reason
it,
why
I'm
Wing
sure.
Chun hands fail against boxers. Okay, and I can show you why. And then once you're done, like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now. I can show you the science of why it always fails, and I can show you the science of how energy works. I'm all about the energy. I don't care about the structure. I care about the way the energy moves. And like I said, you can take a shotgun and you can make it work, for you with any type of close range, right? You can shoot here, as long as you know how to control it and get the point in and hit it. It's going to hit the target. It's going to do its damage. Okay, it's all about knowing how to control whatever you have. You could take a violin. If you don't know what you're doing, it sounds crappy. You say, "Oh, that's the worst violin I've ever heard." It's not necessarily the violin can't play; it's you can't play the violin.
Yeah.
Then some master comes up, picks it up, and woo, and the most beautiful sound can come out of it.
Right, and it could be like
Now,
a junky one.
This
They're
is
still gonna
why
make it sound good.
This is why there are people who sit there. Wing Chun's no good, blah blah blah, because they've learned it wrong.
Right.
They didn't understand the energy behind what they're doing. They're taught to use force. A lot of people
Or
who
they
are
seen
teaching,
someone that didn't know what they're
what you
doing.
lack in
and-
skill, you make up in strength. So
Get
people will
clocked.
say, "Oh, you got to push." I've heard Wing Chun. "Oh, you got to jam their hand. You got to push harder." Well, what if the guy's 3 times stronger? How are you going to jam and make it stop?
Yeah.
It's not going to do that. You cannot overcome force by adding more force unless you're that much more powerful than them. You take a 100-pound guy and you can't get him to stop a 200-pound guy doing that, then throw that technique out. It's all strength-based. I demonstrate when I do seminars. I've had 6 foot. I ask for the biggest guys in the room. I ask for the biggest guys, strongest guys possible. And I would stand with my feet together, and I tell them to knock my head off. And I stand without even moving my feet. I said, "You have to knock my head off my shoulders." And I can still stand with my feet together and still stop it. I won't say stop it. I'll intercept it. It's a bad word to say stop it. I can control it, okay? I don't have to throw my size. I don't have to throw my weight. I have to control the pressure. And there's a method of doing it.
Yeah.
3 proof is one way. It's the first fundamental. Then you have to understand all the other principles to get that to work. And I've had people. And they're not my students. I don't pick my students because students can kind of not go hard. They can slow it down. Now I ask for the guys from other schools, people who anybody doubt it, come up and prove me wrong. And I've had people come up and just do whatever they can to try and show that they can break through, and they can't. They can't do it. Because this
No,
isn't about
and we have
fighting.
some funny videos. Oh man, I think I'm trying to remember. I think those guys might have been from Russia at that one event. They were trying to choke you out, and you were just like, choke me, and they couldn't do it. Yeah. Fun times, good times. I'm pretty sure that's on YouTube somewhere. So Cheese Out Musician, we will answer that question tomorrow just because we're out of time, and you are a member, so you're going to be on that members webinar, right? And if not, you can catch the replay later. Ralph 07007 says, kudos to Cedar Jamie taking all the shots, seafood shows, and lessons. Well, thank you, sir. Much love and appreciation. And you haven't seen nothing yet. Y'all need to come to the members only webinars that we have tomorrow because we go all out on those ones, and I've been being run through the paces. We're doing ground fighting, all kinds of stuff. So anything goes. We don't hold back on the members one. Obviously, all the information and stuff like that. So if you're not a member already, go to energyshallon.com/join. Sign up so you can get the invite tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time as this one, except for it's on Zoom. And you guys, we do critiques and all kinds of cool stuff. I was going to say, Silas, you were saying that you want to come and train with us, hopefully sometime in the near future. I was going to say, if you can get on the webinar tomorrow, you can either do a live critique where you just share your webcam and stuff so we can start refining stuff before you come out, or send us in a video, no more than 3 minutes, and we can pull it up and you can watch on the replay if you can't be live with us tomorrow and all that good stuff.
It can be more than 3 minutes. We'll just cut it off at 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can be, and if we have time, we'll go back to the rest of it or whatever, if there's not like a bunch of other questions. Jennifer says, bitter apricot seeds contain, yes, the B17 and arsenic, absolutely, yes, and it does help kill cancer cells, yes. You are very, very correct. And he also said hybridized cordyceps mushrooms is a super strain. Yes.
Love mushrooms.
Cordyceps are great. Reishi is great. Chaga is great. There's so many medicinal mushrooms, and that's just like touching the tip of the iceberg. And I've been in the past year starting to forage wild mushrooms and stuff like that, as well as other wild edibles that I've been foraging throughout the years. Every year I try to learn more wild edibles for not just
There
for
are some poisonous
survival.
mushrooms, so just be careful.
Well, there's poisonous plants.
Yeah.
It's like everything else. You got to test and prove all things and do your research, Sifu. Come on, okay? I'm still here for a reason because I do my due diligence. I'm a good researcher, and I do not eat anything that I cannot identify. So, and I haven't double, triple checked multiple sources from. But yes, there's lots of free wild edibles that can help you not only heal from different ailments that are completely free all around you guys and gals. So if you haven't got into foraging and starting to learn those things, I highly, highly, highly recommend to start supplementing your diet and getting that knowledge in there. But I think that's it. I think we covered everyone else's questions. If we didn't get to you, I'm so sorry. Please save your question for next week, or you can email us at support@anashallon.com. Right, or if you're a member, come on and let us know what your question was, and we'll take care of it. I already have yours down, Chief Sound Musician, so you do not have to save that. I already got your question. We're good to go for tomorrow. But you can always email us at support@anashallon.com or give us a call at 1-844-9-KUNG-FU, obviously during business hours. But if we're not there, please just leave us a message with how to get back in contact with you, and we will get back to you either later to that day or on the next business day for sure. So Sandy says, see you guys, miss you guys. Well, we miss you too, but we're gonna see you tomorrow, so don't worry, it's gonna be all good. John says, night fam. Chisao says, good night, music lovers. Yes, all right. Jeffro, I hope to see you on again soon. I don't know if you're already a subscriber. Please subscribe, bro. Love all the stuff that you were sharing tonight. Really, really cool. And totally agree on all the things that you said. Silas, again, hope to see you on the webinar tomorrow so we can start doing some critiques for you. Someone says, thanks, Sifu guys. You really raised my fighting spirit. We really need this in our army and government. We have a lot of terrorists here. I don't know where you're at, but I think everywhere is pretty much the same with that, bro. So I feel you. All right, family, we love you. God bless. We'll see you either tomorrow or next week. Mwah! Bye.